Hey guys at Rotten Tomatoes, what's going on?
If you could pick any, like, everyday accessory to bedazzle and then use it to end the universe, what would you pick?
But I wear bracelets all the time, so it would definitely be a bracelet.
I love it.
It might be the one I have on right now.
What sort of accessories are we talking about?
I'm talking anything every day.
Yeah, but to bedazzle something is to stick sparkly jewels on it.
No, that's bejazzle.
Oh, well,
Isn't
pardon
it?
me.
What?
Or maybe have I gone somewhere I shouldn't have done?
I'm gonna be a copycat. I'd go with an earring. Because I'm an earring girl, you know? So that would be another way to hide it.
I guess it'd be a mala, my mala.
I don't want to destroy the universe. I want to save the universe. So I'm going to just flip the question and say, what would I bedazzle to save the universe?
Got it. Bedazzle.
Bedazzle. Just don't go back to that word. Just drop the j.
Did I say bedazzle?
You did, yes, again.
How about a really kick-ass pair of tennis shoes, like super sneakers?
I would bedazzle my wings just so when they come out, people know I mean business.
It's raining, man!
Yeah.
Now when they come back in.
I think I am looking at it right now.
Obviously, the one that you're wearing.
We need to interview her. I think we're really underdressed.
What inspired your costume?
You could just walk around and project the movie into different theaters in America.
You know, that could stop Thanos.
It is great. It's kind of mesmerizing.
I'm like locked on your eyes. I'm like,
Right? Up
Not
here,
looking anywhere
guys.
else.
If he walks in, he could probably give that a double take.
Especially if you did a little something like this.
Oh,
this is a Disney movie.
Keep it on track, fellas.
You say bejazzle and I say
bejizzle.
No, wait!
Sorry. Oh God, is any of this usable?
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people
to see if we could become something more.
So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
Did you guys have a nerd moment where, oh my God, I get to meet or I'm acting with?
I did.
Nodding.
I mean, the day I got on the Avengers set for the first time, you know, I was coming from Wakanda, and then I was kind of like, oh, we got a lot of white folks in Wakanda now.
Yeah, no, that was a funny moment.
Yeah, you were.
They were all like in sync, and they were on it when we were like tumbling out of it.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
Let's talk about new tech in this movie, because you mentioned lights on your suit now.
I do, yes.
Okay, so did that change the way you shot anything? Did that actually exist in real life?
It didn't actually exist in real life, and I often wonder why Iron Man suits have so many lights on them. Surely that's an accessory he can live without.
Robert, it's like a personal kino, just to bounce here a
Just,
little bit.
yeah.
Do you get anything new?
No, just more attitude.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same.
Did you guys consider all the visual styles of the other films and pull that into Infinity Wars in some way?
No, I mean, I think what you have to do with each film, and I think the audience loves this, is that each director brings their own particular voice to each film. I think that we're very different than Taika and Ryan, and what each of us does is very unique. What we did with the Cat movies was brutalist and realistic because we were trying to ground that character and take the comic book out of it. This, you have a giant purple alien. There's a lot of fantastical landscapes in the movie. So it just required a different style. When you're talking about this many characters in the movie, you have to frame them in a very specific way.
We have calculated the death odds in the upcoming Infinity War.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
And you do, but you don't. And Loki, according to our calculations, is right up there. And I
don't know what to say about that, really.
Over all the course of these films, that you feel like Loki has learned any lesson?
I mean, he's a fascinating character, isn't he?
He really is.
I think he's learnt that ultimately he will perhaps never understand himself. And he's learnt that animus to his parents was a fool's errand. Revenge gets you nothing. And he really tried it, and it really didn't work for him.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
I don't know how you are going to do this with Thanos, and I assume that with Marvel, it's never so easy as there's just a bad guy. He has to have something that's relatable. Is that
And he does. I mean, he has a real texture.
I think that's what's most terrifying about Thanos is that he has something inside him that's almost noble. He is looking to better the universe. Now, he may have a sociopathic method to achieve that. There is something altruistic in him, and that's the mystery. And that's why to have an actor like Josh Brolin play the character is such a gift, because he can embody both the physical menace and violence of the character, while at the same time creating an inner life that's very vulnerable and relatable.
When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist.
The last time that we sat down with each other, I licked your face.
I'm not kidding. I remember it.
Come here, bring it in.
Why would I forget that?
I know.
How could I forget
And
that?
everybody was like, oh my God, you're going to sit down with Paul Rudd again. And I was like, and? That was like a one-time, crazy
It was a one-off?
night. Steve Carell doesn't even like to talk about it.
That wasn't that unpleasant. It's a painful memory for Carell.
And I can't even believe
I almost
that
called him Crorell.
Crorell.
Look, I am here
No, I'm
to
not
serve
gonna
you.
put my tongue on your face again. So just stop asking.
All right, if you insist.
That's that.
What can I do to change your mind? You know the makeup department back there is shuddering in their boots.
I do.
I'm gonna need a fresh powdering.
The power is in Ant-Man's hands.
How can I say no?
You literally can't say no. But that's the rules. You have to cut. Okay, so here's the thing.
All right. Oh.
Just one this time.
Such restraint. You surprise me every time.
You taste like leather and vanilla.
Oh, thank you.
Can we just start out on the world's most honest level possible?
Oh, yeah.
On the poster for X-Men Days of Future Past, are you staring at Mystique's boob?
That actually has not crossed my mind. My gosh, those boobs look good. And the fact I have a claw up there is a little creepy, right?
Claws
or
up.
not.
That's right.
Or not. Depends what you're into.
Professor X's wheelchair flies now.
That's
That's
awesome.
the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ha!
Can I let you into a little secret?
Always.
I actually had 3 different chairs because they were needed to be used in different circumstances. One of them actually hovered.
I've seen
Get
it.
out of
It
here.
had compressed air. It didn't go up very far, a few inches, but it actually hovered.
Did you feel unsafe at all? Because
Not at all. We were only a few inches off the ground. On the other hand, I was at times, if this is not giving away too much, I was on a wire. And actually, I haven't done much flying, flying like Peter Pan in my time. But whenever it happens, I've always loved it because you're safe and secure. But I could have done that all day.
That's a fun day at work, I think. I'm going to request my boss put one of those in our office.
And we get paid for doing it, too. It's extraordinary.
I know.
Wait, you what?
Something I was thinking about as far as Tyrion Lannister and Trask go. Damn it. Both of these characters seem to...
If they were to have lunch together, are you going to ask one of those questions?
Yes.
Okay.
What would they order?
Eggs Benedict. You figure out which one ordered
what.
And a glass of wine. Eggs Benedict, glass of wine.
But Tyrion, I mean, he seems like he could tear into a Benedict.
It's true. Yeah.
But it's the one. Yeah. Now, they seem to see the bigger picture of things. They see a little bit beyond other people.
Well, they're a lot smarter than those around them, aren't they?
They are. How much are you like that in real life?
Yeah, well, I think that causes a lot of anxiety if you think about big picture things. And I sort of try and live in the moment. I think that's very important too. Combining the two is important.
And I think that seems like it would help in acting as well. You're listening, you're in the moment, and you're present.
Yeah, it's all about listening, isn't it?
So I get it.
What'd you say?
Where's Magneto?
That man is a monster. He's being held 100 floors beneath the most heavily guarded building on the planet.
Something that I got from this movie is a sense of calm. It's all about, like, you gotta get a hold of yourself, right? You got Wolverine, who has to keep a hold of himself. You got Magneto, who's buried far below the earth, right?
Got nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
Get hold of yourself. No metal around me. Just, I actually wanted him to be, but they didn't take my advice on it. And was that, you know, that he's desperately he's trying to hone his powers. There's no metal around, so he's focusing in all those levels of floors up above.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to have like this thing where a Coke can would just sort of slide slowly across the table, or a paper clip would come flying off a thing. Not a bad idea, I thought, but yeah. Just putting it out there.
Nice try, Fassbender.
Yeah,
Try
exactly,
again.
yeah. Just get in there and do the lotus position. Okay.
Are you tired of people talking about your body? Because...
You have no idea how hard I worked for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm the skinny kid who worked at a gym behind the counter that all the instructors made fun of. So trust me, no.
Okay. So let's talk about your body. Just a little bit.
I just gave you that one, didn't I? Yeah.
We start off this movie seeing so much of Wolverine.
Well, actually, I remember the discussion of that day because I wake up in the past and he's in bed with a girl who he can't quite remember. And he's trying to get through all that, and he gets out of bed and they said, we've got some briefs and we've got boxer shorts. I'm like, neither of those words fit with Wolverine. I just don't feel, if he's going commando and if he's in bed with the girl, he's not getting out with boxer shorts on. That's just not sexy, not Wolverine. So we went the full Monty.
And you know Wolverine better than anybody.
And plus, I also knew that I had literally been working for 18 months and would never get to this point again. So I'm like, if I'm going to record it, let's go.
There you go.
Oh, completely vain. Trust me, after that scene was shot, bring on the burgers. Let's go.
You got a set of pipes on you. And if you could maybe give us a couple lines in song about X-Men Days of Future Past.
This is the very question that makes Foxx most nervous. That I'm gonna sing as Wolverine. It just doesn't fit. There's something about it. Seriously, people stop me in the street like, when's they've had Rocky the musical, when's Wolverine the musical? I'm like, yeah, right, hilarious. No, when? I'm like, never. Well, not with me in it. They're like, come on, man.
Right, no, there has to
I
be.
should never say never.
Never say never.
No, you watch me, I'll be 75 and I'll be doing like kick lines as Wolverine, you know?
You get so up close and personal with Wolverine.
I do.
This whole film. What secret do you want to reveal about being all up in Hugh Jackman's face?
He's just the loveliest, loveliest person. So to get to spend your days just, you know, basically sitting behind Hugh Jackman for, you know, 12, 14 hours. Very, very good day.
How's his breath?
Wow.
I've never taken, at no point have I ever thought about his breath, which is making me think that his breath is good.
Right.
Yeah.
That means good.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there was one disruptive element on that particular set, and we were on that set for days, it was Mr. Jackman.
Does he sing all the time? I kind of picture him as singing all the time.
I caught him singing some Justin Bieber this morning.
Oh, you did?
I'm just saying I did. I don't know if that's... I heard a little baby, baby. I'm just saying I did.
You're afraid. I remember.
Did we learn anything today? I don't think so.
Question. If I asked you to do a quick impromptu rap about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, is that possible for you? Sub-question, would you like to rhyme Gamora with Samora?
Yeah.
Gamora.
Guardians of the Galaxy, sweeping the nation, once again defying expectation.
Ooh.
It's a great creation from James Gunn's imagination. You want Samora, you get Drax and Gamora, you get Rocket and Groot, not to mention Star-Lord to boot, plus Palm, who plays Mantis, and Nebula, who has bolt-on mantis, plus Rooker with the red mohawk.
It doesn't get better than that, man. Do you feel an enormous amount of pressure on the 4th of July?
You do.
Hey, Cap, how do we know the good guys from the bad guys? If they're shooting at you, they're bad.
Is Marvel secretly trying to take over planet Earth because of
Trying?
You do a lot of door busting,
Yeah.
right? There is so much of you
Yeah.
destroying
Cap
doors.
hates doors. He hates them.
He hates them.
I gotta break through this door right now.
What does that actually look like in real life? What does that affect? How does that happen? Do you run through nothing?
Sometimes you run through nothing.
Okay.
Sometimes
Good
you-
acting.
Yep. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's fake wood.
Really?
Both are just as fun.
Balsa wood?
I don't know what it is, but it's fun to knock through.
Dude, I bet.
It's good stuff.
Does it splinter and stuff?
Everywhere.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's incredible. I should put some of those in my house.
Just everywhere. Just when you're pissed.
Totally. How deep do you get in the backstory of Nick Fury? Like, you've played him so many times at this point. So you already know the ins and outs of this dude. Like,
Pretty much.
it comes up in this movie that he has a wife.
No, he says it.
He says it. Because when I was looking for his wife, in
Mhm.
fact, I found that Monica Chang Fury is in fact his wife, and she left him because of infidelity.
It happens.
I want to talk about your suggestion to Captain America to catch up on the Trouble Man soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why specifically Trouble Man? I mean,
because-
aside from the fact that it's amazing.
Well, it's amazing. It was a point in Marvin Gaye's life that kind of defined what we were going through as a culture. I feel
Mhm.
like there are three people, John Coltrane, Marvin Gaye, and Miles Davis, that at any point in time you can pick a song and it kind of defines where we are as a culture. For me.
Now, may I also suggest that compared to other blaxploitation film soundtracks, it's way less sexual,
I agree.
and Captain America ain't getting it.
And he ain't getting nothing. I mean, it is the Sahara Desert in them drawers. Nothing.
My stunt double, James Young, who was incredible
Yeah.
and choreographed a lot of the fight sequences, gave me a plastic knife that, you know, I was like learning how to flip it, and you know, he was like, you gotta just do it over and over and over again.
Was it like the plastic knife that you get in a to-go packet?
No. It was like an actual size. Yeah, no, it wasn't like a tiny white plastic,
'Cause I
like
was
from
gonna say,
Starbucks or something.
Yeah, like the
No.
weight is so different. And like
Yeah, no. It was plastic in the sense that it was like a, you know, like a toy.
It's not gonna
combat
hurt you.
knife.
Got
No,
it. Because I was like, well, imagine what he could do with a spork. Now I noticed in one of these close shots that you had on a little arrow necklace.
Oh.
Now my brain tied that to Hawkeye.
You know, I think, you know, that may have been my little nod to Mr. Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. I guess you could interpret it in different ways, but we thought it would be nice to have something that was a little bit personal for the widow. And, you know, you kind of forget, I think because she's so, you know, she's such a badass, you kind of forget that she's still a woman and,
Right.
you know, that she has her interpersonal relationships and life outside of work. Engine room secure.
When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
I want to talk about Hawkeye's new haircut. He has a new haircut. Everyone's talking about it. They're like obsessed with it. I want to know what your first reaction was when you guys first saw it.
Just disappointed that I didn't have that haircut.
Yeah.
But I will after this interview.
I was totally
Oh,
jealous.
yeah.
A little. I was like, damn it.
I would love one of those.
You could rock that.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Let's
Can
all
we get
do
some
it.
clippers?
Clippers? That would be wild if I just did that now.
That would be amazing.
Can you imagine?
Let's do it.
Oh God, let's do it. Do not tell me what I want.
Darren, you're kind of a jerk if you don't do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling the pressure now.
I can't wait to grow that when I get to grow my hair back.
See, but for him, like, you know he's not gonna style that, and like, you gotta use some product when you have a mohawk. He's not gonna do that, and then I was thinking, I'm not sure that's gonna end up. Like, is that gonna just be like a weird, like, soft sort of baby hair thing that just comes forward like that. It's like kind of decky. It's a
Definitely
lot
a
of
product.
People think that when you have short hair that it's easier, but it's actually not.
Did that new haircut help add to your performance at all?
Yes.
I was jealous.
Why?
Because I thought it looked so cool.
Yeah.
And he can pull it off.
Was it not lice related? I thought there was some.
There was an issue.
There was an issue. I thought
Yeah.
they had to.
There was a problem.
There was something happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fashion.
It's something really.
It was a health related issue.
Nobody would know. Nobody.
The Avengers take on hair lice.
What happened to your hair?
I didn't know that he pitched it to you guys.
We're always encouraging the actors to make strong choices.
So when you first saw it, you were like, yes, this is amazing, or did you regret it?
We loved it. We loved it. We like creative choices.
I was really fixated on the fact that someone's writing X-Men stories that are not really reflective of what happened. They're stories, right? And so I wanted to try something with you. I wanted us to craft a story about you that's not quite true.
All right, should I call my lawyer?
What did you do when you woke up this morning?
Made sure that I wasn't late.
So let's add a detail to that to make it like 50% more fantastic.
Okay.
So when you woke up this morning, what did you do?
I covered myself in mayonnaise.
Okay, that was way hotter than I was expecting, so I'm totally thrown for a loop at this point. Nicely done.
Thank you very much.
Where's that machine hand of yours?
I like how this is going.
Sometimes things just come out of my mouth and then I instantly regret them. Tell me something innocuous like, what did you do before you went to bed last night? As long as that's a G-rated story, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I watched a building burn down. We did a night shoot last
Christ,
night. Yeah. Literally, we were shooting a building burning down in this movie, and on the last take, it kind of got a little out of control. So as I was leaving, I thought, I think it's time to go. When they say immediately evacuate, 8 fire trucks turned up.
Okay, when the fire trucks show
There you
up,
go.
it's time for Hugh
It's
Jackman
time
to go home.
go, right?
Get out of here. See, and the thing is that now I want you to retell that story, but make it like 35% more fantastic, and it's going to be difficult.
Well, so I was on set, and things got a little out of control. But I was, you know, there was equipment back there. And I didn't want that equipment just to go. You know, someone's gone a lot of effort, there's money, someone might lose their job, so I ran in to the burning building.
This is
And
my impression of you running.
That was me running. Little covers, a lot of smoke.
Ash.
Roll, low, what is it, duck, tuck and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll.
So
That
I just did like 17, probably forward rolls. I grabbed the light, there was a camera back there, and there was a little dog. I don't know how that little puppy was there, but
Where
I
did it
grabbed
come
that puppy
from?
and I brought it back out. And went to bed. But let's not talk about that.
No,
let's
no,
just
no, no,
move
no,
on
no.
to the movie.
Yeah, no, let's talk about Logan.
Here's a little holiday greeting I've been wanting to send to the Mandarin. I just didn't know how to phrase it until now. My name is Tony Stark, and I'm not afraid of you. I know you're a coward, so I've decided that you just died, pal.
I love your suit of armor in this so much.
Thank you, dear.
That comes to you and you
Yes.
just, What in the real world do you want to be able to just fly to you at your will? Anything.
I have that.
What is it?
Star power.
You don't love that.
Here's what I love. Tony likes being a bit of a rock star, and in Iron Man 3, we see his tour is canceled. And he's got to get back to basics, you know. So I like experimenting with the sorts of power that Tony has, but in real life, I like real life. I like things being pretty simple.
Okay, so no things flying at you at your will.
Eh.
Not even like a Diet Coke when you're thirsty?
I mean, it would be, you know, convenient.
Right.
But I also like opening refrigerators. I find it soothing.
I think that might be in a press release tomorrow. Holy crap, the guy likes opening his own refrigerator.
I like Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes and the New York Post are the two most important news sources for me. Well, what else is there?
Nothing.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned. Yeah, well, I mean, Iron Man and all of these movies are fresh. They're so fresh, it's ridiculous.
I'm glad. And by the way, when the first Iron Man came out, and Jon Favreau and I were watching that very closely, and it meant the world to us. And even nowadays, me and the missus, it's very much a part of how we view what's going on in entertainment, because it was started by a small group of people who decided that their opinions mattered.
And we love movies.
And I love movies.
It shows.
Good.
In this movie, this horrible, horrible thing that some people have been injected with, extremis.
Yes.
There are no repercussions. They can basically do anything they want.
Right.
What would you do if you could do anything you wanted and no repercussions? I know you said you like real life and you like opening refrigerator doors, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, no repercussions. I mean, I feel like I did that in the 80s, because the 80s was kind of a repercussionless decade. There's actually the show on that Rob Lowe's narrating called The 80s, The Decade That Made Us. And it's a period piece now, but I look back on it and I was like, I was there! But it's also great to be reminded of actually that kind of, that genre and that period piece was significant.
Yeah, so you've been there and done that.
And
around
you've got the
tomatoes.
t-shirt.
Gray Drake.
Is that the
Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, that's the Iron Man.
It is. I'm fair and balanced.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
Like,
good.
I'm not officially going to pick a side, but it's Cap.
But it's
I'm
it is.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
You seem a little defensive.
Do you know what? In fact, I asked Robert Downey Jr. specifically if he had a message for Team Cap, and he said, and I quote, "Your mom."
Oh.
Wow.
I know. I know.
Okay, that's enough.
All right.
Well, we have a message for him.
Oh my God! Well,
Tell him to take his Ginkgo biloba so he can remember why it's Viagra. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
Yeah, and I got a message for Team Iron. Make sure you don't mistake each other's toupees when you show up to the airport scene.
damn! I sense that there is a story behind that, and I would like to know what it is.
Well, I mean, Team Cap, we're just young, hot guys, just hanging out, lifting weights, just trying to protect the world.
You don't have to tell me, my friend.
Team Iron Man.
You only make this worse.
Just a bunch of old dudes waiting for their AARP to kick in. You know what I mean? It's like, who's carpooling this week? I'm not driving.
Yeah, and by the way, who wants to get the 5 o'clock dinner special?
See what I mean?
Over at the county
Exactly.
buffet.
Can you separate these checks, please? Can we all get an individual check? Gotta watch the 6 o'clock news, because I'm going to bed.
I could do this all day.
Yeah, here's great. Tony Stark's got everyone watching Franklin Jello interviews.
He's my friend. So was I.
But I mean, he's the bomb, though.
That's
I mean,
it.
He's
but let's-
amazing.
seriously,
He's amazing, but it's so, every time I do it, I'm like, this is so serious. I can't. I can't.
Aside from the superhero world, if you could pick one person to fight on Team Cap for you, I'm just talking about from history. It could be a real person.
Sure.
It could be anybody. Who do you want on your side?
Who do I want on my side? There's so many good jokes, so many inappropriate jokes.
Yes,
But
my
I'm gonna
favorite kind.
I'm gonna keep it in the superhero world, and I'm gonna try and tip my hat to a fellow superhero. I'm gonna say Deadpool.
Nice.
Because I really, really liked that movie.
Yes,
I
right?
Really I've seen it a couple times now, and I'm gonna say that that would be just fun.
Could be somebody from history, literature.
Ooh, I would want Napoleon.
I like that.
Good choice.
Bad boy.
Right,
Bad
just
boy.
don't ask him to reach stuff on the
Nah.
top shelf.
Nah, come on, man, sit on my lap.
Like a monster, like Frankenstein or somebody, I think
Absolutely.
it would be cool to have on my team. He's already dead, you know what I mean? You can't harm him.
Kevin Love or LeBron James.
Oh, right?
I want Godzilla. Always Godzilla.
Nice.
You know I was in that movie?
You were?
I was in a movie about Godzilla.
Did Godzilla win?
Yes.
Godzilla always
He
wins.
saved everyone.
Why did no one say Betty White?
Ooh.
Missed opportunity, guys.
It's
Betty
just,
White.
I mean, I would say
Betty
Blanche Devereaux before Betty White, because, you know.
Amen.
Yep.
She is my slutty goddess.
What's the most pain you've ever felt? Maybe the kind that leaves you more machine than man.
Wait, no, stop! Oh, what is that?
Dale, why are the visual effects not done?
Deadpool 2 doesn't have a subtitle. It's just Deadpool 2. But if you were in charge of giving it a subtitle, what would you call it?
Deadpool 2, it's all about cable.
It is
Cable
all about-
time. How's that? Like Hammer time.
I would call Deadpool 2 a love story.
But that's the thing, it is a love story.
I
I
the
think
first
that's
one,
really
that was
good.
a rom-com, the first one. This is like a family sort of love story. Like Deadpool 2, Cheaper by the Dozen or something like that.
Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah, like the movie.
We were gonna call it Love Machine, but then it made no sense. Like it just we couldn't.
Family Matters.
The bottom line is we decided that so many movies had done that it was almost a cliche. So we decided let's just make it Deadpool 2. Simple as
Ironically, calling it Deadpool 2 felt the freshest to us.
Oh, I'll do it myself. I'm Cable, and I'm from the future, and I'm always pissed off.
Pew 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 pew. Reach for the sky.
Cable is such a big part of this movie, a big part of this universe. How do you hope to see that character evolve now?
Well, I mean, now that we go into X-Force and we have Drew Goddard coming in, I think he's going to create something really special. I think at the end of this movie, you start to get into the Cable Deadpool volley, this kind of Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy volley, which I liked. I look forward to seeing that evolve. Once we get closer in the movie to who Ryan and I are personally, I think it's just better for everybody, including us.
Ooh! Yeah. Pump the hate brakes, Thanos.
How would you describe Cable?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the character, not the actor playing him. Gosh, where do I start? Well, he's the biological son of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey's clone and half-brother to Rachel Summers and Nate Grey. I don't know why those air quotes were in there. Okay, let's just go with it.
Domino, I'm lucky.
Luck isn't a superpower. And certainly not very cinematic.
Is luck a superpower?
Absolutely. When I first read about that, I never really questioned it. I always thought it was such a cool power. I think it's so useful. It just makes you better at everything. You don't die. Everything just works out.
As a director, did you attempt anything in this movie that you never attempted before?
I mean, there are some certain things we did, technical sort of achievements and experiments in terms of like camera and things that will go unnoticed, but for me, I'm really proud of.
Sorry.
Has the success of the first film changed you at all?
Physically, well, I had 5 bones from my body just removed, so I could just be a little bit more fluid. Both collarbones, 7 inches of spine, and for no reason at all, my coccyx, just because I want to see what it looked like. So gross. Stop making eye contact with me.
Your time's up, dumbass.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
The world is changing.
First of all, wanted to congratulate you two on the success of Black Panther. There was the box office success, but then there was the fan reaction. It changed history. It changed probably how we're gonna do film from now on. What was the milestone for you that meant the most?
It has to be personal interactions with people. That's the real meaningful thing for us.
Just seeing the impact it had on people. There was something very powerful about, you know, hearing how it was being responded to and how people were celebrating it as they would go to it and like, celebrate themselves, their culture, their specificity was something that I had never seen in my life.
Just seeing everybody just talk about the film and be so proud and like having the Black Panther challenge and people dancing and buying tickets for little kids to go and see it. Seeing everybody just come together to support the film, that for me was the milestone.
I'm proud to be part of a world that I can be sitting here with them and that is willing to make different kinds of movies that are more inclusive.
We are home.
it's a salute. It's a salutation, which Ryan and I came up with in the throne room.
Your left has to be first.
Okay.
Then your right goes over that. So every time you see each other, you're like.
Put your right hand over your left, and you got it. There you go.
I'm a lefty. That's why
She's talking about the handshake between you and Shuri.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, between the two of you.
Yeah, but I can't do it by myself. Like, she's got to do it.
That's brother-sister stuff.
Let's go!
The handshake came from the fact that we were both royalty and we're greeting each other.
I said, Chadwick, T'Challa, we need something special just for us. And he said, little sister, let's do it. And I was like, okay, cool. So we're gonna do this where we slide, we click, and then we do like that. And it's just like, it's our little thing, it's like that. So you slide, click, and you go like that. But it has to be smooth.
I'm not that smooth.
And it has to be sensual.
That wasn't sensual
Yeah,
either.
at all.
Drax, aka the Destroyer. Since his wife and family were killed, he's been on a rampage across the galaxy in his search for vengeance.
So what do you do when you see yourself on screen?
Cringe.
The movies that you've been in this year show you and your character on this spiritual journey, I want to say.
Yes.
Do you get in your head at all about that? Like you're being forced to talk about it over and over again?
Sometimes I feel like I'm on the Truman Show and this entire world was orchestrated around. I mean, like in 3 years from now, I'm going to have like a total mental breakdown.
Your character has trouble with metaphors, but I'd assume that's not a problem for you.
Right.
But, I mean, because it's raining cats and dogs outside, and
Did you guys know about this? It's raining.
It's just that it's raining really hard.
Are the dogs okay? All right.
Somebody want to help me? A little help.
That's not good. Not good. Poor dogs.
What the hell? Groot. He's been traveling recently as Rocket's personal houseplant / muscle.
I don't often get to play characters that can wear their innocence on their sleeve.
Ooh, you're right.
You know, so this is unique in that respect.
Well, and what a task it is to only be able to do it in 5 words.
Because just imagine a teacher saying, well, if you're really an actor, you could create a role with just 3 syllables.
Yeah, yeah.
To play that out on a Marvel canvas for the universe is pretty intense.
Gamora, soldier, assassin, wanted on over a dozen counts of murder.
I noticed that some of these really beautiful markings on her face, and I'm going out on a limb here. There may be nothing behind it, but is there any kind of significance behind it, or is it just a design choice?
Once we figured out that she had a lot in common with the lost kids of the Sudan and kids that are taken from their villages and sort of forced into a life of crime and violence and terrorism, I felt, well, sometimes they're given markings, and I thought, well, that's probably a very similar thing that she's gone through. So I'm like, let me just try to sort of brand her in that way. You know?
Use it. There seems like there's so much going on with her that we don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
Right? We learn a lot, however, next movie.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. What is it about raccoons that people aren't getting? Because I feel like they go through trash.
Raccoons are hilarious. First of all, they're little jerks. I mean, they are the jerkiest animal ever.
Your brother was the kind of human placeholder for Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, but he's more than a human placeholder. Sean played Rocket on set, and he was an incredibly important part of creating the dynamic that exists between those characters. When you see those characters sitting in a circle and arguing, the energy that is coming from Rocket is my brother that's, creating that energy with Chris Pratt. And we use a lot of his facial expressions for reference in Rocket. So there's a part of Sean in Rocket that's pretty big.
Do you have any treasured items from the 80s that you hang on to?
Do you remember Monchichi or whatever, those little dolls? Yes. Mine was my favorite, and I would bite into his thumb, and it was so hard and unbreakable, and he just had the kindest little face, so I miss him. Wherever he is, I just miss him.
I have a bunch of lunch boxes. I have some old boom boxes.
Nice. Oh my God, boom boxes.
Yeah, I got about, I think I have 6 of them.
Do you ever take it out for a spin?
They bring a lot of attention, you know, and I wouldn't do that. Go out and bring all that attention to myself. But yeah, I carry them around the house sometimes, just to take me back, you know.
Just inside, yeah. Star-Lord has been brought in for illegal manipulation.
Of a Gramosian Duchess.
Is that a thing?
Peter Quill's a player. He's in space. He's cruising around with his blasters, his spaceship, his tunes, and he's just hooking up with femalians. And the idea was that he hooked up with some Gramosian Duchess, and her dad, like, rigged the system to be like, you know, he broke her heart, and so he brought him down and had him arrested for some sort of crime. Peter Quill, not a sex offender. Come see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Je s'appelle Groot.
I will go with you to Sizzler, but you gotta pay this time.
Going to Sizzler, going to Sizzler, going to Sizzler.
Yay! It's a date!
Some call him Apocalypse. He was some kind of god. For thousands of years, he's been amassing mutants to take their powers. He always had 4 followers.
Like the 4 horsemen. You got that one from the Bible.
Or the Bible got it from him.
I'm actually really impressed with how quickly Apocalypse caught up to our culture.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Yeah, right? Dude's been buried forever.
Yeah.
What do you think should have been the thing about our world that shocked him the most?
He came alive in the 80s. If he were to come alive now...
Good point.
I think he would be mostly shocked by the addiction to technology because nobody's like outside, because like thousands of years ago, you know, everybody was all outside and playing or building pyramids, you know?
Right.
Which wasn't necessarily playing, it was more like slavery.
Yeah, like herding dinosaurs.
Yeah, they were
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
You were inside like to sleep and to eat. And he would be like, why is everybody inside so much?
You mean that people stay inside to be mean to each other and say crazy things? They just press a plastic button?
Yeah, he wouldn't get it.
Yeah, very confused.
I would be like, so these,
Because it was amazing.
I'd look around and see everybody doing this without any kind of insecurity or self-awareness and be like, they're completely okay taking 7,000 pictures of themselves without any kind of like shame. And I'd be surprised that there's no shame in this world anymore. What happened to the shame? Back in the day, people like, you know, people did crappy things, but they like wore gloves and hats, you know? Now there's no shame.
Absolutely. Crappy things look way better dressed up nicely.
Hell yeah.
Also, look better dressed up nicely, flight attendants. Anytime I fly on an airplane, they still wear hats.
Yes.
That is nice.
When you see the Emirates people with
nice.
the gorgeous outfit.
I've never been
Speak
on
like
Emirates.
30 languages too.
I've never been on Emirates.
It's
Me neither,
oh
but
girl,
you
get
see 'em
yourself a
walking
Jennifer
around.
Aniston pod.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my God. You get
Take a
some
shower.
Get,
Totally.
Get
Yeah.
friends money, then you can take a Jennifer Aniston flight.
Yes.
What's something that would shock you the most if you had just awakened from a super long nap of sorts and came straight into our world?
Hot Pockets. I don't think I could adjust to that.
No, because it's like, are they food? Are they bread?
Yeah.
Is it pizza? Is it a calzone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would just break me down. I wouldn't know. Yeah.
Also, what's a microwave that you just cooked this hot pocket in?
Yeah. That's one of Apocalypse's thing. That's the irony, because he also, one of his superpowers is technokinesis. And yet he's got a big disdain for the technology as well. There's a little conflict there.
Wow, so actually, yeah, Hot Pockets are his mortal enemy.
Exactly.
And ours
It's
as
all
well.
connected, yeah.
I love it.
And my stomachs, too.
You're Rotten Tomatoes. You can make anything happen.
Hold on. You gave her wings and blasters. So I take it you didn't have that tech available for me? No, I did.
So, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I saw it last night. It was so much fun. It was such a cute little family movie. What movies do you like to watch as a family?
School of Rock was a big one
Okay.
in my house, which I also think that Jack Black's performance in School of Rock is really one of the greatest performances of the last 20 years. My daughter is 8, and we've been watching a lot of Grease.
Did you get her to see Grease too, though?
Oh yeah. Tomorrow we're seeing Michelle Pfeiffer, and my daughter cannot believe she might actually get to see Stephanie Zanoni.
I'm not gonna lie, I love her filmography. People are like, Catwoman, I'm like, yes. I'm like, you know, Scarface, yes. Stephanie Zanoni was like my thing. I sing those songs still to this day. Look at the pantheon of female superheroes. In fact, you're with Michelle as your mom, who played Catwoman. Like,
I was obsessed with her as Catwoman as a child. I fantasized night after night after night, probably for 2 years of my life, about being her as Catwoman.
You tried to make it, right?
I wanted to. I did in my imagination. I didn't have the resources or the skills in real life. I think because I was so obsessed with it, I couldn't talk to her about it. I don't want to geek out on her. I don't want to be like an obnoxious fan. I think it was pretty obvious how starstruck I was.
Meow.
But working with her on this one, talk about that one, because I feel like you guys had such a great chemistry.
Well, it's a surprise. First of all, because I didn't know going in, and then all of a sudden you get the script, and then Janet, you find out we're going to be able to find her in the quantum realm and bring her back, and then Michelle's playing the part, and I'm just a tremendous fan of hers. You know, I never had the opportunity.
Rumor has it that you almost worked with her on Basic Instinct way back when. Apparently she auditioned, but then they went with the icon Sharon Stone.
No, I would imagine that, God bless Paul Verhoeven, our director, but he scared off most of the women who, I mean, his first line when he would be in hi, hello, there'll be nudity, huh? Lots of nudity. I said, Paul, easy, Paul, they're gonna be scared to death. So I would imagine that Michelle may have heard the nudity a bit, one too many times.
What was it like working with Catwoman, or did you guys get to have any time together?
Oh, it was so cool. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of time working with her, but I mean, listen, just to have the opportunity to play a scene with Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas was huge.
Sorry, I'm messing around.
This is also great from the film. You're on a 2-year house arrest.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you were stuck inside the house for 2 years?
I would try to learn how to cook, because I'm not going to any restaurants, and you know.
I would write so many books.
Yeah, I'd get a major.
I would read so many books.
Maybe a major in quantum mechanics.
You have to say it enough. You might as well learn
exactly,
up on it.
Exactly, might as well learn it.
Exactly the same things that he does in the movie. Magic, drums.
By the way, this all sounds great. I'm down with house arrest.
Follow my lead.
Great job back there. Are you gonna say the same thing to me?
Good job.
Thank you.
So what's great about this one, we get Ant-Man and the Wasp, and this is the first female Marvel heroine who's in a title role. Are you fans of some of the other females? Like, do you have one that you would make your other sidekick if you could?
Oh my God, they're all completely badass. Anyone from Black Panther.
Yes.
Scarlet Witch. She's maybe the toughest one of all, right?
Yep.
I mean, she can do that, then just do that. Well, Scarlett Johansson is, I mean...
Black Widow.
Right, I guess, oh yeah, we're going character names. I forgot.
Yeah. You
Well,
can call her ScarJo, you could do whatever you want.
Can I call her Blah Y?
If you could step into the shoes of one other Avenger for a day, who would it be?
Probably Robert.
Yeah, me too. I was going Robert. Just being in the suit, I think, would be pretty fantastic.
Totally
and there's
dope.
a few people I'd really like to wage war on.
Vision.
I would probably wear... I would say probably Chris Evans' shoes, because they were huge and really booty like a big moon.
Yeah,
boot.
they were. They looked like they could float.
I feel like you could rock a
Lady America.
Lady America.
Yeah.
Lady
L'America.
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 Where is
I
this
love
is
this
this
character.
an interview anymore?
Tell me more about Vision. Let's talk about you in a red jumpsuit.
I just think Vision's so cool. He's so cool.
Mhm.
And Paul Bettany's like, you know, he's doing okay.
Can we just compromise by getting the Hulk a cape?
It's a blanket for Banner, and it turns into a cape for
I
Hulk.
could knit it for you.
Yes, you could.
I bet the widow quilts.
You know she does.
Yes.
If it's possible, just like jump into Scarlett, like as a person, just be like Scarlett for a day. I think I would like to do that, just to be that stunning.
Amen.
I'd probably want to play Captain America and just make him good.
Just to play Thor for a second.
as an interesting guy. As someone with layers.
Wow.
You know layers? You know how like when there's depth behind the eyes?
I just like Cap a little
Muscles
less
are great,
predictable.
but just kind of like, oh, there's something beneath the veneer.
What's Cap gonna do? The right thing.
Maybe
again.
I'd love to bring Thor to life.
That's so boring,
Maybe
isn't
that's
it?
just me.
Let me open the door for you. No, that's sexist. If you look into the meaning of that.
And see.
It's been 10 years. What have you been up to?
I do some web design.
A lot of ups and downs, a lot of peaks and valleys.
Yes, yes.
So as an actor, that's got to be pretty fulfilling, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's life, you know. It's like that's what life is, and this is a microcosm of a life. You know, Peter Parker goes through more in one day than I've ever been through in my entire life. So you have to honor, you know, you have to honor the truth of what that is, especially for a sensitive man. Peter's a sensitive young man, you know. He's very in touch with that sensitive energy.
You remember the first thing you ever cried over?
Yeah. I think it was being born. When I was born, I think I was very upset.
You had a rough go at it?
I was just wailing for some reason. I was just like, I was just upset. And I knew it. I was like, no,
Sure.
this isn't. It was much nicer back in there.
Sure, swimming around in that
around,
fluid.
Connected to my mom.
Did your traffic jam have anything to do with being, I don't know, shot at by machine guns?
Yeah. Oh, that was implying. I was implying that.
Wonderful job you did, and it's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mark Seaman.
I will say there's a lot of paths going on in this movie.
Yeah.
With that said, you got to make tough choices.
Yeah.
And do you remember the first tough choice you ever had to make in your life? Okay.
Everything kind of feels like a giant decision when you're a kid.
Sure.
Or maybe it feels like a giant decision when you're an adult and I'm projecting back onto my childhood self. Everything feels like a giant decision right now.
Any childhood decisions that you regret?
I had an expander in my mouth because I had braces for 7 years, but before I got the braces, I had an expander that's like a little gate that got
You had to
down
put the key
in second grade.
And push it?
Yeah, but I stuck my thumb until I was 11 years old. So I would pull the gate down, up under it, and it pulled off of my back molars.
Holy cow, that's
which
supposed
was
to be
so
cemented
painful.
in, right?
Yeah, it is. But mine was a gate for tongue thrusting, not like a turnkey expander. It was like, so I couldn't push
the
my
tongue's
tongue
under
against
control.
my teeth.
We got it in there.
To keep the
It's
tongue
good to
under
go.
control. And yet I still sucked my thumb. So my palate is like up to my nose in my mouth, and I regret that.
We can change the world.
Then let's go catch a spider.
What did you two draw out of each other that no one else was able to do so far in your work? Did Jamie draw something out of you that
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look, my first day on set, I was so nervous, and it was the scene that we had together when he's up in the rig, and it was my first day on this huge movie, and it was a day of exploration, of trying to find the character. And Jamie was there for me all day long, and he was cheering me on, and when I finally got it, like, he was there to be like, look, that was it. Like, I saw it, I watched you, like, that was it. And throughout the rest of the process, he was there to, you know, keep me dialed in.
And it's a joy to watch a young cat come along, man, because, you know, I mean, cats like Leonardo to me, like, I go like, oh, man, we constantly talk back and forth, and then, you know, his name comes up, I say, yo, this young dude here is going to keep the artistic value of what we do up.
We'll get on the Dane train,
You know
right?
what I'm saying? Dane
Cool.
train.
For everybody else trying today, what is the key to doing the Hulk voice?
Pretend like your throat is in your navel.
Got it. Can you do a Hulk impression?
Stupid, white, small, scrawny god, you're pathetic. You're the worst Avenger.
The angry girl.
That's good.
That was good. That was good. That was a good way to start.
Hulk like fire, Thor like water. Hulk like raging fire, Thor like smoldering fire.
Yeah, same. Hulk like fire, Thor like water.
Oh, kind of both like fire.
And Hulk like raging fire, Thor like smoldering fire.
There's nothing like the Hulk. I don't know what it is, but it's
No,
nothing
I
like
think
the Hulk.
that's
That's your own version of
Frankenstein in Young Frankenstein.
Hey everybody, my name is the Incredible Hulk. On the inside, I'm a bit of a scientist. I'm a really delicate flower, and I'm young at heart. And don't judge me just because I look like Shrek.
That was a Korg Hulk crossover.
Yeah, well, that was my impression of Hulk doing an impression of Korg.
Exactly. What is the #1 reason people should go see this movie?
It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's sweet. The humor's not mean-spirited, and it's diverse, and there's great, strong women characters, and it's everything you love about Marvel, but just that much better.
Oh, come on.
I would say, you know, you can't go wrong with a robot.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I like the like.
Oh, the fish!
Hey,
oh!
hey.
I like this whole thing where you just like,
Alright,
Spider-Man dad,
Yeah.
Spider-Man dad. I just put it up there.
So Tom, I read that you auditioned 7 times, or sent in 7 audition tapes for
I
this
think
movie.
8 times, actually,
8, okay.
yeah.
What did those tapes consist of?
Just backflips. Like,
Yeah,
hey, what's
back-
up? I'm Tom Holland. Backflip. I should be Spider-Man. Side flip. Watch what I can do. It was just me showing off, really.
I love that Aunt May is sexy in this film. I think she's really sexy and has this kind of like glamour to her. Did you have any say in her hair and makeup or her wardrobe at all?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it.
Thanks for noticing. We tried on a lot of wigs and a lot of clothes, and came up with a look that also had to be very clean, like clean lines that would also match with like a comic book character in its own way. So even if it's a real life person, have almost like an iconic uniform.
And I think that this film to me is so cool because it really celebrates diversity. It's the most diverse Spider-Man I think we've ever seen.
Yeah.
How important is diversity to the future of this franchise?
It's so important, and I think John did such a great thing by, you know, breaking the stereotype and casting for who he thought was best for the role, rather than what they looked like in the comics from the 60s.
I think that this is a beautiful step in the right direction. It's an accurate representation of what New York is like, and it's great to keep seeing.
I think John and Marvel and Sony were so amazing because we were all cast based on we're the right person for this character, as opposed to like, oh, we want a black girl as Liz, or we, you know, like all of these boxes. Like, we're not here to check boxes. We're here because like we're the accurate people to portray them.
It really has made this film grounded. It really feels like a real New York high school because they are so diverse, you know?
Movies like this, it's continuing to break down that wall, and I think that's what we're supposed to be doing.
And Zendaya, I think that for you, so many folks have high hopes for your film career. This is your first big film, your first big film.
Pressure.
And I want to ask you, would you ever play a superhero, and who would it be?
Hell yeah, I would play a superhero.
Who would it be?
I don't know what it would be, but I would be down to play whatever, as long as they're like a strong, female, powerful character.
Human beings are disposable, but man and symbiote combined. This is a new race, a new species, a higher life form.
I just have to talk about it. Y'all, I saw y'all joking around. Please tell me on set y'all were having as much fun as I just saw y'all having right here.
No, we've waited until now.
Yeah.
I mean,
We didn't break character until yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were still trying to kill each other. You should be extremely afraid. What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Tom, this role, what about it particularly intrigued you? What about the Venom character?
Oh, I think he just looks brilliant. I like the look of him. As a character, he's got massive teeth. Do you know what I mean? He's huge. He bites people's heads off. He's got those eyes going on, and I think he's. I just enjoy looking at him. To be fair, so it's an
She's
honor
talking about the character you're playing, though.
Oh,
She's not talking about you.
what it looked like.
Well,
Everything you're saying is a description of yourself. I like looking at him. He likes fighting people's heads off. He's got those crazy eyes.
God, I'm such a novice.
Come on.
Steer me through
He's
this.
talking about the character, not himself.
There was no character before I turned up, and then, you know what I mean? No, genuinely, there was, you know, nothing on the page, really. It just, this wonderful experience came from interpreting, you know what I mean? No. The character was basically what drew me to it was the Jekyll and Hyde aspect of the inner conflict between a human being and technically something from which has no ethical framework or no morality whatsoever, but comes from a sort of, one can argue, is it a higher being because it's from outer space, or if it's just literally primal. And it's symbolic for me of my inside voice or others' inside voices, where we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, if we want, but we can't because social symbolic order and etiquette says that actually you have to behave in a certain way. So the fun of this character is being able to play between you know, a human being and an alien that's just running riot all over the place.
If you're gonna stay, you will only hurt bad people.
The way I see it, we can do whatever we want. Do we have a deal?
I just have to start, as I said, I'm the biggest Beat fan. I know Venom's amazing, but what do you think Dan Egan would think about Venom?
Dan Egan probably would be so... I mean, just his manhood would be so threatened by Venom for sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He would try to go toe to toe and then back down.
Dan, like he always does, would talk a huge game, and then in the end, he would completely flake.
All right, who's got the filthier mouth, Venom or Selena Kyle?
Oh man,
Selena Meyer.
Selena Meyer.
Ooh, not
God, I gotta.
Selena Meyer.
I'd say Selena Meyer actually.
Yeah,
I would.
I think so too.
I mean, Venom's badass, and he's big, tough, body guy. But I mean, some of the stuff that comes out of Selena's mouth is just like makes your skin crawl.
Eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time.
Are you bummed? Not spoiler alert that you didn't get a symbiote moment.
No.
You're not?
I mean, Dan gets to play with Venom enough.
Yep, he does.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
Maybe-
who knows if the story is told on Dr. Dan? Maybe he'll.
Because there was a lot of rumors. I'm
Yeah.
sure you saw the rumors online.
Oh yeah.
That power, it's not completely awful.
You have no idea how much you're scaring me right now.
And then your character, like, I've seen you play like ambiguous bad guys and like kind of bad guys, but this is like full on villains. So tell me about what drew you to this one.
He may appear villainous to lots of people, but actually he's just driven, he's ambitious, he's got good intentions. No one thinks they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make sure that humans have got somewhere to go after we've destroyed planet Earth, really. So you should be thanking him and not calling him a villain.
Oh,
Could you thank Cotton
I
J,
will.
please?
I won't thank his methods. I'll thank you. I'll thank you because you were really
I'll
great.
take
You're really great at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What the hell are you? We are Venom.
Hey, Fandango fans. This is Stan Lee saying Excelsior. The first time I met Robert Downey Jr., I remember it was at the premiere of the movie, and he came over to me, and he was so grateful for him having gotten that role, for me having created that character. He sort of knelt down in front of me, and it was a touching scene. I was very touched by it. If I wanted to be a star in my own film and pitch it to Kevin Smith, I'm not quite sure who the characters would be at the moment, because you're catching me cold with this, but I'd want it to have humor. I'd want it to have characters that were bigger than life, who are able to do things that the average man can't do. I'd like it to have tremendous drama, and as I say, humor. I think the combination of the two are an unbeatable combination. Well, it was such a pleasure for me to meet a guy who not only knows drama and action and adventure and superhero stuff, but who also had a great sense of humor. And I figured you put all those abilities together, and well, you saw what we got. Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a great movie. If I'm the sixth Infinity Show, I don't know about it. Nobody has told me that. And I'll have to wait till the movie and find out what kind of a cameo they're giving me. The cameo may give it all away, I don't know. But it's nice if people wonder about these things. And that's what Marvel does so well, I think. They put things out there that are almost teasers. And the fans say, wow, how's that going to turn out? I wonder what that means. How will that affect this, this, and this? So, As you can probably tell, I very much like the way Marvel operates, what they do and how they do it. I'm very pleased with all of that. We have a great actor playing the role. We have a great theme. That I don't think there has ever been a character like the Black Panther, with his background, with his abilities, with his whole situation. And he's unique, he's different. I hope I'm not exaggerating this, but I think the Black Panther is going to be a major hit. You know why I did Captain Marvel? Because there was a character, and it was owned by Fawcett and by Disney. They were always fighting over it. And we couldn't use the name, but I wanted, our name was Marvel Comics, and I wanted something with the word Marvel in it. And we finally decided we made her a female. I don't know, I just decided to make her a female. I can't remember why. I thought, I like things that are different. If you do what everybody expects, you're just doing the ordinary. But if you surprise people, that's fun. And I think people were surprised to see that our Captain Marvel was a female. So that was fun for me. Actually, all our characters, whether male or female, should serve as role models for the readers. Above and beyond the adventure and all the super stuff, they should serve as role models in the sense that they always try to help other people and they always try to do the right thing. When I see the characters that I help to create on the screen, I don't really think of them as my characters. I really sit in the theater and I watch them the way every member of the audience watches them. And at the end of the movie, I usually say, damn, that was good. I'm so glad. And I do remember maybe, oh, they had a scene in there that was based on something I had written that was great. I got a kick out of that. But I don't really think of the characters as my characters because I came up with the basic idea. But I worked with artists, directors, who added so much to the characters and their direction, and the actors who brought so much. It isn't a one-man field. There's so many people contribute. I'm just happy that I've had a hand in all of this, and I'm happy that even after all these years, someone bothers to interview me about it. I'm really very flattered. I'm probably my own biggest fan, but as I always tell people who ask me for tips on writing, I think what you have to do, you have to write to please yourself. I never would write anything where I'd say, this will be good for people who are 30 years old, or this will be good for people in their teens, or all I ever think of is, what would I want to read? What characters would interest me? And I'm not that different from millions of other people. If there's something I would like to read, there must be other people who'd like to read the same thing. 100 years from now, if somebody should bring up my name, if it would still be around in 100 years, it would be nice if people say, geez, I thought he was a good writer. His stories gave me a lot of pleasure. That's what people tell me now, and it's the best thing any writer can ever hear when somebody comes over them and says, I've derived pleasure from what you've written. I would like to think that everything we do in our stories helps the readers to just understand the world and to have a little more tolerance and to take the peaceful and intelligent route instead of what some people do. I've always felt it would be nice if, while enjoying the adventure, if the reader also gets the feeling that we should all be good to each other. And the world is a small place. We only have a short time in it, and we must make it as pleasant for ourselves and for other people as we possibly can. And doing the right thing is better than doing the wrong thing. Behind everything, there should be a good moral tone. I've always tried to put that in. They try to do that now with Marvel, and I hope they keep doing that forever.